Hi, welcome to Sports Banner. I'm here with Luca and Bryce, and today we're talking about the free agents in the NFL that have been signed. We're going to be giving grades for every team and how good they've done so far in free agency. Starting with the AFC North. Bryce, do you want to go first with the Cincinnati Bengals?
Okay, all right. Whoa, that threw me off guard. Anywho, Cincinnati Bengals. I look at their team and I think it's a solid B minus. B minus. I can't give them a C. All right, Riley Reef. With the offensive line, they did something. Although it's not as much as I've wanted, they did something. They replaced Carl Lawson with Trey Hendrickson, which, like I said before, is a little iffy. They did sign like 4 cornerbacks though, which they got Mike Hilton, and they signed Eli Apple today, which good luck. And they got Chidobe Awuzie. So I like these corners that they signed. You know, I like Trey Hendrickson, former Saint, and Riley Reef's a solid signing. But other than that, they really haven't done anything to give them higher than like a B minus.
Initially, I had these
Uh,
guys as a C plus, but I actually just decided to change that because I realized they've done a little bit more than I thought they had. So I'm giving them a B. Just
Wow.
one level up from you, Bryce. They've done a good amount. The most glaring place that they need to fix is the O line, and they haven't done much at all to fix that yet. But a lot of the other parts of the team have seen improvement. They have a good reinforcement on defense. I mean, they've added Larry Ogunjobi, Mike Hilton, a bunch of other cornerbacks. They have a good amount of reinforcement on defense. So the only place that really they need to fix right now is the O line. Maybe add a receiver, which they can do in the draft. But I think they're in a good position. I think they've done well in the free agency so far. I'll give them a B.
uh, what's up? I'll give them a C plus. I think they've done enough, but nothing too crazy. Like what they're saying, O line just needs to get fixed, but defense is looking pretty solid right this second.
Don't hate
So
on the great
nothing
Barrier
horrible,
Reef.
just a C plus.
That joke flew over,
That's all.
flew over everyone's head. All right.
Uh,
Anywho,
Next, we got the Baltimore Ravens.
yeah.
I'll start this one off.
Oh, Calvin.
I'm giving
Okay,
these
all
guys.
right.
What, do we have another person we have to go with?
No, go for it.
No, I was just surprised. I was like, okay, go, yeah, go.
All right. I'm giving these guys a
What?
B minus. They've added
Okay.
Kevin Zeitler and Derek Wolfe, but not much else. They don't have a lot going on, which is fine. If you're a team like the Ravens, who have been very good and have a good team already, it's just important to re-sign your players and to bring in a little bit of reinforcements, which is what they've done. So since they haven't done a lot, I'm not going to grade them too high, but since they really don't need to do a lot, they're getting a B minus.
Yeah. Look, I'm not gonna crucify you
Um,
because you weren't talking
okay.
about re-signings, but like Tyus Bowser re-signing with the Ravens, good move. So I'm throwing that in there with the Kevin Zeitler and the Derek Wolfe signings. So I don't know if I said it already. That's a C plus.
I finally get to go. Cool. Okay. Because anytime I try to speak, y'all just go, well, and I'm like, okay. I just don't say anything. Ravens, they're a B. They've done enough. The
A
re-signings are
B.
solid. Yeah, a B. Zyler's gonna be very good for Jackson. He's gonna be amazing. I'm telling you, him and Lamar, it's gonna be good. There's gonna be good protection for him. I think this is solid from the Ravens. They didn't have to do anything crazy in the first place. So
Receiver.
they'll be fine.
I mean, what other positions do they need to fix besides receiver?
You're asking the wrong person.
Receiver. I'm joking.
Not many. That's
Not
their
many,
most
that's
glaring. That's their most glaring position that they need to fix right now. So, I think
mean,
they'll be fine. They
you
can
could-
always trade for somebody, or they can get another couple people in the draft. So
I mean,
think
you
they'll
could
be all right.
always get better. That's my thing.
All right, moving on. We've got the Pittsburgh Steelers. Luca, you can start this one.
The Steelers. Well, I'm trying to get to my freaking notes, and my whole document is freaking out right now. Of course, the one time I get to go. Steelers. All right, I gave them a C minus. they haven't really done that great of things, on all honesty. Um, Re-signing Juju for 1 year is, I mean, that is a benefit because he is a good player. Um, but I don't know. They haven't done that much. They re-signed what's his name, Sutton. I know they've done another re-signing, but they need to build a team right now, and they're not really building anything. So I just look at it as a C minus.
Bryce?
Hello. All right. C minus as well. That was what I was thinking too. I mean, kind of the same stuff as Luca. I mean, the only notable thing that you could really talk about and know what you're talking about is Juju. Like, I don't know. I'm surprised they did re-sign him, but other than that, they don't have a lot of cap to work with. So, like, that's okay. They're doing the bare minimum. They're strengthening the offensive line a little bit. Nothing too crazy, but at the same time, they don't have money to do anything crazy.
The Steelers, for me, are getting a D. They have added almost nobody. They've re-signed a few players, so you can give them that. They have Juju back, but, I mean, that's only as good as you think he is. And personally, I don't rate him too high. I think he's good enough to be a wide receiver 1 on some teams. Not most. They have their most glaring need is, in my opinion, the defense, and I don't think they've done a single thing to help that so far. They have a lot to do, and the free agency period hasn't fixed it. So they're getting a D.
I'd argue that defense wasn't the problem.
Well, in those,
their
I mean, that's
offense
true.
is
They also need to
very-
fix the run game. Yeah,
That's true. Their offense was very one-dimensional. So, like, that also was a huge problem in my mind.
just that whole roster needs a good rejuvenating, and they have not gotten that yet.
They're rejuvenating with Juju. Oh, dude.
Rejuvenating.
Dude, what is going on with my notes right now? They just keep blacking out.
All right, y'all talk about
All
the
right,
Browns.
our next team. Yeah, next team is the Browns.
Browns.
I'll go last. Either of you
What?
can go. Luca.
I'll go first. We'll hit with the little bit because I know Bryce might be a little more negative than us, but let's start with the good and end on the good. The Browns, the Cleveland Browns, is an A. I don't believe in A pluses that much. So what they did was good enough. Definitely an A. They signed John Johnson, $33 million for 3 years. That might be a steal. Hopefully he's going to perform as well as he did at the Rams. They signed Takk McKinley for a year. They got Troy Hill. They got Malik Jackson. And they re-signed Higgins. I mean, it's a re-signing, but still we got Higgins back. They did everything they needed to do pretty much. I mean, yeah, an A. It was awesome.
All right,
Bryce?
I'm hitting it off. A minus. Most of the same points. John Johnson, I think it's a steal too. Troy Hill, I think, is another deal that's like really, really good. And then from there, you got Takk McKinley, which he'll serve his purpose as a complementary piece to Myles Garrett. Malik Jackson, yeah, you're taking a chance on him. He's not the best. He was good, but you're kind of relying on him getting back to his full potential. Rashard Higgins, though, he's a good receiver. So, yeah, A minus. Like, nothing too crazy besides, John Johnson and Troy Hill. But at the same time, they're in the A tier because they made good moves.
Okay, if I were to give an A plus, it would go to this team. But as Luca said, I don't believe in such things, so we're gonna go with an A. I understand, Bryce. You said they haven't done too much crazy besides John Johnson, Troy Hill, but they signed John Johnson and Troy Hill, 2 cornerstones for the best defense in the league last year.
Yeah.
That is a huge signing for them, especially on a defense that was pretty bad last year, and one of the reasons that they lost so many games. If they have those guys in that game, they're moving on. Takk, he's a good signing. He's going to be good against or on the other side of Myles Garrett, so it's just a good addition, good replacement. They got Anthony Walker, Malik Jackson, as you said. Malik Jackson is a bit of a like you said, a gamble, but I believe that with Takk and Garrett both on the line on the outsides, Malik Jackson's going to be good at disturbing the inside as well. So I think that's an important addition as well. And yeah, an A.
I feel like
so next we're going.
I feel like with a lot of these things, like we have the same ideas, but just our grading that's what the difference is. Like, we basically said the same thing, and yet I had an A minus and y'all had A's. I also gave I gave a couple A pluses. So like, I think it's difference of philosophies here with the grading.
Oh man, I can't wait to see who you gave an A plus to that wasn't the Browns.
Oh, you'll see. It'll be in this video. Yeah, you probably already know.
All right,
who.
so next we're moving to the next we're going to the AFC South,
Mhm.
and we're going to start with the Houston Texans. So personally,
Oh gosh.
was probably one of the hardest teams to grade because
Yeah.
I don't know what to say yet. They have a really good quarterback on that team, and if they lose him, their grade's going to be down in the D's probably. If they keep him, they're going to be up in the B's or maybe a low A. So if they can replace him well, somewhere in the middle. So right now, I'm giving them a C+. They've added a lot of people, including Mark Ingram. I don't know. I don't know how to grade them very well. I'm giving them a C+ right now.
All right.
That's fair. I'm on the opposite end of that spectrum with the C minus. They made tons of moves. They signed tons of players for like short deals, like 1-2 year deals. But they didn't do too, like, the players aren't that noteworthy. They're not that great. These guys can amount to something like what's his name from the Dolphins? Shaq Lawson. He can be something. Lawson, how do you say it? But these might be signings for no reason or something like that. So I'm just looking at a C minus, and that it is hard to grade them in this time, but it's nothing too exciting for me.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's hard to tell if they really have a big plan or if they have like no plan, you know?
Huh. Yeah, that's interesting. I totally disagree. It's a B+ for me. I think this was a steal. Like, one of the most low-key off seasons ever seen. Like, look, the big signing that people think, Mark Ingram's washed. Philip Lindsay's the real value, and you got him for $3.25 million. That, in my mind, is a steal. Dante Moncrief, don't sleep on him at receiver. He's pretty good. They also got Andre Roberts. Not bad either. Offensive line, Marcus Cannon. You know, maybe he's on his kind of worst years, but, you know, if we're thinking optimistically, Marcus Cannon could be a solid piece. I think this Shaq Lawson trade was a steal in my mind. I think they robbed the Dolphins in that trade. I don't think Bernardrick McKinney's that good, and I think Shaq Lawson's better. And then they signed Desmond King, who I think a couple seasons ago was one of the best corners in the game. They signed him for $3.5 million. And yet nobody's talking about it because everyone's thinking about Deshaun Watson. So worst case scenario, I think it's a B- because of Watson. But like, if Watson gets traded, I think it's a B+.
All right, so moving on to the next team, we have the Tennessee Titans. Bryce, you can start this one.
You know damn well that I don't have notes for this. But, okay, so I was going to give this team a C-, but they signed Josh Reynolds, so they get a C now. So good job. I think that there's a lot of people on this team that they signed that I have no clue who they are. So I'll go over the 3 that I know of. Josh Reynolds, solid wide receiver, big-bodied wide receiver, good replacement for Corey Davis. Bud Dupree, I think he's severely overpaid, and that's why I'm really not too high on the Titans offseason. But, I mean, look, you got a pass rusher that, if he comes back from this ACL injury, it's a good signing. But if he doesn't, then this is a terrible signing. And then Janoris Jenkins, yeah, he does the job. They cut their 2 best cornerbacks in Adoree Jackson and Desmond King. So, like, getting Janoris Jenkins, it's a solid move.
Okay, so I gave them a B-. You missed a couple players there. They got offensive tackle Kendall Lamb, who's a really good tackle. I think he's a good pickup for them. And cornerback Kevin Johnson, he's also decent, a good addition to help their secondary, which was very suspect, let's say the least. So I'm giving them a B-. They've done enough to really help a lot of areas of the team. And it could end up working. There's a couple things like Bud Dupree, maybe Kevin Johnson that, you know, is questionable. Could end up helping in the end, maybe not. But yeah, so I'm giving them a B-.
All right, that Kendall Lamb pick, not actually that bad. I like that actually.
Am I allowed to speak now?
Maybe.
They're C plus. Yeah, not the defense looks solid. The only worry that they'll have to have is offense. They don't have Corey Davis and they don't have Smith, so they could need a little bit more. But their defense is solid enough for a C plus for me.
All right, next team we have is the Indianapolis Colts. I'll save mine for last.
Yeah, I know yours is gonna be a
Um,
dumpster fire. Like,
Hang on,
Worst.
I can go.
or I can.
So Colts.
Okay.
No, I got it. Trust me.
I'll trust you.
So, they got Carson Wentz. Take that as you want to. I think there's a chance for something to work there. They re-signed Mack and Rhodes. They have tons of money, and they have done absolutely nothing. I think they will do something, and I think they're just waiting for the puzzle pieces to like connect. They're making sure everything's in place, and they can go big. And I think it'll be good. So this is more in a hopeful mindset, but they haven't done it yet. What they have done to me is not horrible. It's not great. That's why I'm giving them straight down a C.
All right, I'll hit them with a C plus. I'm a like, yeah, kind of same points here. They didn't do much, and the cap space thing's kind of interesting. I'm a little more optimistic on the Carson Wentz trade than others. Marlon Mack re-signing him for a $2 million contract. I think that's a really good value for him. And Xavier Rhodes, also really good value to sign him for a 1-year deal, given that he, a couple years ago, was one of the better corners in the game.
Okay, so the Colts, they have done basically nothing except re-sign a few players and trade away picks for Carson Wentz. This is the only team that I have graded an F.
No.
Because I don't understand how I can give them anything else when they've done basically nothing in the free agency period. I mean, technically, Carson Wentz isn't even a free agent. He was really a trade, but we're still including him here because there's almost nothing else I can talk about with them.
Yikes.
And they've re-signed a couple good players, so they get enough. You have to do something.
But do they
before I can
need
give you a good
anything?
grade.
Do they really need anything?
You said they re-signed. You said they re-signed good players. How's that enough?
They re-signed Marlon Mack.
Yeah, what's
and
wrong
they
with
re-signed,
that?
Like, what, two more guys? Nothing's wrong with Marlon Mack,
That's
but
not-
they have other things they need to take care of.
No, they don't. What do they have to take care of?
Well, for one, there's the quarterback position, but
Which they've addressed.
They think they have that done.
They took care of.
They addressed
They-
it.
Now you could say that.
They
What
took
else do
care
they
of it,
need?
and I think the way they took care of it was an F.
What else do they need?
Okay, there you go. Fair.
No. What else do they need? I'm still
Their
waiting.
defense wasn't very bad, but there are a couple places they could do better. The secondary could use a little bit of a facelift, and the pass rush was, middle of the league.
They do need better offense, like players, and they need to replace Danico.
I'm
That is
waiting
his
for
name.
someone to say wide receiver, and the fact that nobody said wide receiver kind of hurts.
All I'm saying is that
What do you mean?
they screamed mediocre last year, and adding Carson Wentz and re-signing your same players is no way to get out of that. So they're getting enough.
I don't know. They screamed
That's
one of the
true.
best defenses in the league to me. So
What'd they do in the playoffs, Bryce?
that's
Alright.
true. They got injured.
Next team.
The,
Next
that's
team.
true, yeah, next team. Jags.
Jacksonville
I
Jaguars.
I'll take this one, and I can give this 2 simple words: C minus.
Ayo.
They've done a lot of signings, and I know they got one of Bryce's Saints boys, Malcolm Brown, but like they're not that great. They got tons of players. Shaquille Griffin, Rashawn Jenkins. They're not bad, but a lot of the other guys they signed, they're not that good. Griffin and Jenkins will be really good for the secondary, but like, I don't know. It's not looking great. Their offense is not that good, and if they get Trevor Lawrence, what is he supposed to do with the offense?
Yeah,
This is why to me, it's a C minus. But the defense isn't horrible though.
I can basically echo what you just said. They also got a C minus from me. They assigned a good amount of players, but the problem is that most of them are just number 2 in their position on most teams. It feels like they have a lot of backups or secondary players, not really the big starters that you want. So I'm sure they'll be all right, but yeah, C- for me.
Give me that C minus. So, all right. I want to ask y'all something. Do y'all know who Jamal Agnew is?
No.
No.
He is making $21 million over the next 3 years for the Jacksonville Jaguars at wide receiver. You've never heard of him either.
Okay.
Marvin
No.
Jones, on the other hand, is getting $7 million for 1 year.
A year. No,
Like-
Marvin Jones is getting 2 years, 14 million.
Okay. Ian Rappaport said something different. But my point is, I don't know what they're doing. They franchise tagged Cam Robinson, which I still don't really like. I don't know what to think of them. Shaquille Griffin, not that good. He's all right. He's just not that good for the deal that they gave him. Malcolm Brown, you know I like that. But that's the only saving grace that I was about to give them a D. But they get a C minus.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so next we're going to the AFC East, and we'll start with the Miami Dolphins. I'm giving them a D, which is probably lower than both of you, but
What?
I just don't really like that much that they've done. Obviously, you sound like you have a lot to say, so I'll let you go. I just don't really care for what they've done so far, which doesn't seem like too much.
I'll go right quick because I think Bryce will be more passionate than me.
No, not really.
They have done a little. They have done. They're a C for me. They got Will Fuller. They got McKinney, which is good. He's a good player. They got Isaiah Wilson, who's already gotten released. That was an L&a-half on their part, but they've done pretty much nothing too crazy, nothing too great. So right down the middle C.
All right, I'm giving him C plus. Bernardrick McKinney. I know I just kind of roasted him. He's all right.
Yeah, he's
Like-
pretty good.
Maybe they needed linebacker a little more than pass rusher. They did release Kyle Van Noy, so they need linebackers. The Will Fuller signing, I like it. It's a good idea. You need weapons for Tua, and you got him weapons. We're not even talking about Isaiah Wilson. That just didn't work. Malcolm Brown is a solid running back for them, and nobody mentioned this, but Jacoby Brissett I think he's definitely a talented backup in case Tua doesn't work out. So that's why I give him a C plus.
That's fair.
Yeah, I could probably bump that grade up to a D plus, maybe, but it's just that they haven't done enough for me to really give them a high grade. Same with the Colts, just to a lesser degree. So, next team that we have is the New England Patriots. I believe I have the lowest grade of us all. I haven't heard you guys, but I'm assuming you graded it higher than I did, so I'm going to go ahead and say B plus. They did a lot. They added a lot of players. I'll only talk about a few, so you can get to a few of them. But they had 2 tight ends, Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith, and Nelson Aguilar, who I personally love the pickup of. Paid a little too much, but that's all right. That's mostly why I didn't give them an A, is because they paid a lot of money, more than I think they should have for some of these players. And if they had gotten them for better deals, then they would have probably been an A for me. But I'm trying to include the fact that they paid a lot of money, so B plus.
Yeah, they spent a lot of money. That's why for me they have an A minus. Not that different from you, Calvin. Aguilar, Smith, Henry, amazing pickups. Kendrick Bourne. It is a lot of money. That's the problem. But old Bill Belichick's looking to win. He's looking to win right now, and they have a chance. Yeah, I'm ready to see this team play. A minus.
All right. A plus. That A plus. Mic drop. All right. They made so many moves. I think they pretty much kind of rebuilt this team through free agency. Obviously, this can go wrong. But you go in, you give Cam Newton his 1-year deal. Good, because you don't have any other better option. You give him receivers, Aguilar, Bourne, Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith. Good. You give him protection, Trent Brown, and David Andrews. Also good. You sign 4 players on the defensive line. Good. That's fine. Matt Judon, high-level pass rusher. That's great. And then they pick up Kyle Van Noy that they already traded to the Dolphins. They just scooped him back somehow. I don't know why people let the New England Patriots do this. And then they signed Jalen Mills to, I'd say it's overpaid, but, you need a skilled position player. I mean, look, yes. Did they overpay for some of these guys? Yes. But you're also not going to get it done if you don't overpay them. All right? Belichick wants to win, and that's what he's trying to do. And for that, I give him A+. They just full sent and just went for it.
Yeah, that's actually kind of part of the reason I didn't give them an A, or really an A at all, is because they just kind of went all in on it, which could work in some cases, but when you're basically rebuilding the whole team, they don't really have a future plan if this goes bad. They're going to have to rebuild even more, and they don't have as much money or space. So it's just more...
Mm-hmm.
They didn't seem very cautious, which is fine. They might have a lot of confidence in their players, but I'm personally it's B+.
I don't blame them.
So.
I think they're confident for a good reason. There are some talented players that they signed.
All right, so the next team, the New York Jets. Who wants to start this one?
I got it with the Jets. So they signed Corey Davis from the Titans, good wide receiver. They signed Carl Lawson from the Bengals. They signed a 1-year deal with the Lions due to Jared Davis. How do you say it? I think they did a couple other things, but I can't remember.
That's fine, yeah.
They spent their money very well, I think. Davis and Lawson could be 2 of the best players out of this free agency. Not free agency, they're just getting them.
Yeah.
And they improved the overall team. I really like what the Jets did. I'm going to give them a B+.
Yeah, on that note, I had a B+, I'm upping it to an A- because that's a really good point about them spending their money really well. I mean, they really did. They got Carl Lawson, which I've said before on this show that he's better than Trey Hendrickson. And for the Jets to do that, that's great on them. They got Keelan Cole with Corey Davis. 2 very solid wide receivers when you need weapons. Smart. Tyler Kroft. I think that's a solid tight end to get. Marcus May, they franchise tagged him. Great decision. Sheldon Rankins, former Saint. I think that he's going to be given an opportunity that he wasn't given in New Orleans to really shine, and I'm sure he'll take it. So yeah, I give him an A-. Good job.
I'll make mine short, A- as well. Everything you've said is correct. The only gripe I could have with them is that they haven't addressed every problem, but when you're the Jets, it's kind of hard to do that.
Yeah.
So A-. Next team that we've got is the Buffalo Bills. I'll go ahead and start this one off. I gave them a B. When you're a team like the Bills that doesn't really have almost anything that they have to address imminently, you don't really have to do much. All they've really done so far is sign the MVP, great backup in the room, and Emmanuel Sanders. So I'm not going to fault them for what they've done. Emmanuel Sanders is a good pickup. B for me.
Bryce.
You're not going to fault them for that. Wait, didn't you just roast some team for not signing anyone?
Go.
I roasted them because they don't have a starting MVP.
You roasted the Steelers for not signing anyone.
Starting MVP.
And then you praised the Bills.
Yeah, because the Steelers... Who has more to do? The Steelers or the Bills?
I think the
there's
Steelers
not
have
a
a little
the
more.
Steelers.
All right. Bills, though,
Yeah, Bryce, go.
that's a B- for me. Almost a C+. They didn't do much. They got Emmanuel Sanders, which, for cutting John Brown, that's a good move. Good job. They focused on the offensive line, which, again, good job, good move. And then they signed Matt Milano. They re-signed him. Maybe a little too much money in my mind, but that's okay. So it just screams decent, and that's all you have to do. You don't need an A+ free agency from this team. So B-, that's fine.
I thought this was better than what y'all were saying. Okay. How I gave them a B plus.
All right, go for it.
I think the re-signings are really smart with Williams and Milano. They're a little older,
Yeah,
but they're really important for this team. Like they are extremely important for this team.
fair enough. Yeah.
Manuel Sanders is a good pickup, and y'all say what you want to, but Trubisky is fine as a number 2. He is fine. He if Allen gets injured for a game or something like that, or is out 1 or 2 games, I think Mitchell can play the part. I think he will be fine. I think this is pretty good from the Bills. B plus.
All right, that's respectable.
Yeah.
Next, we're moving to the AFC West, and we'll start with the Chargers. I'm gonna go first. I gave them a B minus. They brought in a few good players, a center, corner, and a tight end. Corey Linsley, Michael Davis, and Jared Cook, respectively. And I think those are good additions. I think that they've done a lot so far, enough to really up their game. And I think that they'll look better next year, and that they should have more protection around Justin Herbert, so he doesn't have to run as much, but he still can. I think Jared Cook is actually sorry.
Yeah.
I know I just stopped, but I think Jared Cook is a really
Yeah,
a really good addition to that. I've said before that bringing in Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry was really good in New England, because that's going to give Cam the ability to get off better rushes, like planned quarterback runs. I think that this is also how it's going to be with Justin Herbert bringing in Jared Cook. That's a good guy to pass rush and catch, or not pass rush, pass block for the passer. There you go.
Yeah, I gotcha. Chargers for me were a B plus. Like you pretty much agree with most you said, Calvin. Jared Cook, great signing. The re-signings are awesome, especially in Davis, and signing Corey Linsley. This is going to be amazing. He's going to add a lot of protection. I think this was good from the Chargers. They could have done more, I think, but I wasn't expecting them to do this, so that's why I think it's a B plus.
Yeah, I'll go straight in the middle, give him a B. I think, like Luca, I did want to stress that Corey Linsley was a hell of a signing. And it was a great job for them. I was surprised they got Corey Linsley. But for them, I'm happy for them that they got probably one of, if not the best center in football. And Jared Cook, solid 1-year deal. I think it's, like y'all said, good target for Justin Herbert. And, good.
All right, so next we have the Denver Broncos. Bryce, you can go first.
Ooh, I'm about to suck them off. Pause. A minus.
Whoa. You might as well just bleep that. What?
A minus. All right. Their defensive moves kind of got to me. Shelby Harris, good re-signing. Ronald Darby and Kyle Fuller together with the Broncos. I'm all for that. That sounds great. It sounds exciting. And then the thing that I also think puts them over the top is the Justin Simmons re-signing. They did it before Marcus Williams' deal, which puts more pressure on the Saints to pay him the money that Justin Simmons just got paid. So I think getting that deal done first was very, very smart from the Broncos.
I think the re-signings were good. That's why I'm giving them a let me double check. Yeah, a B. The re-signings were good. The signing of Darby from Washington, Kyle Fuller was good. Von Miller, that's up in the air. That's why I sort of don't have them too much higher, because they kept him. But they didn't do anything horrible, and they did some pretty good things. That's why I'm saying a B.
Okay, well, my grade is a C plus, but I do want to stress that could be a B minus. They did good so far. It's just that they haven't done a lot, and they kind of need to. Kyle Fuller is a good pickup. Re-signing Justin Simmons was extremely important. I personally wanted him with the Browns, so that was very good for them to get him back. They brought back a couple other players as well, as you said. So I mean, they've done good things, but it's just I think that they have a lot more to do.
There's
that's
a
why
whole
they're getting
draft.
a C plus from me.
There's a whole draft that's happening in a month.
Yeah,
like
but
they don't have to address
I know.
issues right now.
Yeah, but we're grading the free agent signings, not the
the
draft.
quality of the signings, not if they filled all their needs.
Okay. C plus.
Next, y'all want to go with the Chiefs? I'm sort of feeling
Yep.
the Chiefs.
Kansas City Chiefs.
All right, so the Chiefs, the team that maybe should have won the last Super Bowl, who knows? The Chiefs, the team that released some decent players. The Chiefs, who Luca gives them a B. Joe Thuney, however you say it, great signing, great pickup, awesome for the Chiefs. They might do something in the draft, who knows? But I think it was good for Patrick Mahomes protecting him, smart. But they haven't done anything too much. Do they have to do anything else? Not really. It's the Chiefs we're talking about, one of the best teams. But I'm going with the B. But I would exercise an option to maybe change it to a B plus. But I'm sticking with the B for right now.
I'm throwing out the B minus.
I'll go.
I just
Okay.
went. B minus.
Okay.
Look, I know I said I wouldn't take into consideration the players that they lost, but they just straight up cut two of their better tackles. I don't even know why. Because they just signed Joe Thuney to a big ass contract. So they had the money. I mean, they could have just not done that and not get rid of two valuable tackles. But so it's a B plus. Like, the only reason I'm not crapping on them is because they signed Joe Thuney.
So I originally, when I first went through this, had them as a D, but I readjusted it for the fact that really they didn't have too much to do, as I did with a couple other teams, and I've decided to give them a C. They lost a lot of good pieces on their O-line, and they added Joe Thuney. Does not make sense to me. I don't really get where they're going, but surely because they don't have to do a lot, they're getting a C.
Fair.
All
That's
right.
very fair.
And our last team is the Las Vegas Raiders. Bryce, you go.
Okay, Bryce.
I wish I could just not rate them. Because I'd give them a rating of I'm confused. But in actuality, I'm just going to give them a B. I mean, look, I don't know what they're trying to do. But, like, sure, they're doing good things. John Brown, good weapon. I don't know. The Raiders are losing receivers. They lost Nelson Aguilar. So they replaced him with John Brown, which arguably is better. Maybe not. I might be talking out my ass here. But Kenyon Drake is a good complement for Josh Jacobs. Why do you need this? I don't know. I don't get it, but cool. And then there's a lot of potential with this defensive line signing. Yannick Ngakoue, good signing. Solomon Thomas and Quentin Jefferson, not so much, but they're good, I guess. They're all right, so it's a B.
This one. Sorry, you go.
Okay, Calvin, you can go. No, okay, fine, but mine's super short. Because this video is going long. I give it a B too. Instead of Solomon Thomas, I would have signed Solomon Hill. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so this was a hard one to grade for me because I like the pieces they brought in. Yannick Ngakoue was a very good addition. John Brown's decent. Kenyon Drake, I really love that signing as well. But it's just, I don't know if that's what they needed. But at the same time, I don't know what they needed is the problem.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure where I would say they should have gone for in the free agency. And I don't know what they could have improved, like, drastically. So I gave them a B minus. I don't want to fault them for adding Ngakoue and Drake. I mean, those are really good signings in my book. Those are both great players. But I don't know if I could rate them higher just because it doesn't feel like those two were needed. Ngakoue is a great addition, but I don't know if they needed Drake. So B minus.
They need an attitude adjustment.
All right, well, that's all the teams in the AFC. We'll be back in about a day with the NFC. Thank you for tuning into Sports Band.